All right. Welcome into what seems to be, in my opinion, a preview of what we might be seeing towards the end of the hosting league in the tournament, in the hosting cup. We've got some really high-end talent here in this race today. Up in the top left, we have the 8th seed Cornifer and the kind of like radioactive uranium green Rex. We've seen, I feel like 8th is kind of, is in a lot of ways, not exactly showing all the true potential of Corny. We saw Corny get an unofficial time of 25 minutes in week 2. Well, unfortunately, had to have a DNF against Ruddy in that loadout because the stream crashed and wasn't able to get it out throughout the entire loadout due to a couple of communication things happened. But here he is today up against in a much more important race with much more on the line, because we see on the right Goji here in the 4th seed, here in the start of week 3 in the hosting league, and the blinding white skin. Decides to up the volume a little bit. Don't want to get snuck up on by any wisps, not with this loadout. Beneath Goji, with the little slideshow, the perfected blue slideshow of Rex, we have Zinc, who I believe has the current fastest overall time. Just has had some really easy loadouts, right? Hasn't been able to separate himself from some of the other racers, but has that chance again to do that this week. And then here, being blasted by some wisps, taking some cover behind a what is that, a block, a square? We have, right, 3 giants, up with Corny, up with Goji, up with Zinc, and then there's poor Disturby, who wasn't able to make it to week 2, is a little bit behind in the standings as a result, but, you know, let's just say not necessarily the most familiar with the game, has been really new, and decided to enter the racing league to try and get better, has been doing her Eclipse climb pretty well, making some progress, learning a lot of things pretty quickly, but still just in the very early stages in the genesis of her professional time here in the hosting league, in playing Risk of Rain, right? So maybe not expecting too much from this, but at least from being present, we'll get 1 point. We'll be able to maybe provide an upset. We'll see. Maybe if some certain strategies are done, right? Looking for items that maybe none of the other racers would be going for. See, there you go. Using the shift right before landing. Not taking any fall damage. Huge tech. Love to see it. And pretty much doing just as well as a lot of the others here. Combat Shrine summons Stone Golem. Gives like $2, unfortunately. I used to really like Combat Shrines back when I did full looting, and I kind of still do, because you don't take any curse from them. It's just kind of guaranteed. You also get experience, and not just money. But, man, when you're speedrunning, and you hit a Combat Shrine at level 1, when the enemies are level 1, like 2 minutes in, you get like nothing from them. It's kind of sad. I wish they would give you a little bit more, but I mean, it's better than nothing, right? It's very peculiar items so far here in this loadout. Which, oh god, Zinc gets a +5. Zinc, his first death here in the hosting league, looking a little scary here. Had a few beetle guards. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Maybe just wasn't using enough of the left alt ability for Zinc, his special, the not foreign fruit, what is it? Directive Harvest? Getting the healing, the Giga healing from that? Oh man. This Rex loadout is probably, in my opinion, the worst loadout. Right, these pros here are using something really bad. They're using, oh god, Disturby, look out. Okay, doesn't get Golem shot in that vent. There's the ukulele as the boss item, by the way. But, oh, Disturby's probably gonna die. Needs to be really careful, almost dies of fall damage. You can use your shift to give yourself a quick bit of health. A lot of people forget that the Bramble Volley does provide HP after being used. And Disturby just trying to take out some of the Beetle Guards, maybe not the best idea. Takes up the Wisps, though, feeling a little safe, playing it safe. At the end of the day, though, if you play it safe, it's a little bit better than being in Zinc's shoes, being 5 minutes behind every other racer here. Right? With this really bad loadout, these racers here have the Seed Barrage, right, which does 15% of their health each time they use it, which isn't bad. It does really good damage. Goji actually here, 1 Golem Blast, 1 Fireball, does get a +5 as well, and we have a double death here. With some of the highest competition, with so much on the line, such a rough loadout was selected for him. And now it's Cornifer, who currently holds the reins, having done the TP boss. Disturby struggling to survive, trying to fight off a blazing beetle. Right at this point, you might as well just spam your M2. You're at like 2 health. Maybe use your shift. Yeah, there you go. Survives a little bit more, but 1 more Lemurian Fireball, 1 more Wisp Shot, and that's going to be a +5 for Disturby, who now joins the others in death. Which now you got to be really careful. Being at 5 minutes, not having any damage items aside from a old guillotine, with so many enemies building up, you just want to use your shift. I think a lot of people get kind of afraid of using their self-damage abilities. Right, there's another +5 there. Just 1 shift ability. All those enemies would have gotten hit. Disturby would have gotten all health back, and things would be happy. Just needs to use it, yeah. It's in a really bad death loop. Already at 3 deaths. Not looking good. Was playing it smart, and you could see there's a lot of the strategy down, right? Knowing when to shift before landing. A lot of full looting like mentality stuff, but then it's the rush and the fear of, wait, I'm up against literally like 3 of the top 10 people in the world at this game. This is terrifying. Right? So it's like gotta go fast, gotta try and prove that I can maybe have a shot, and in that moment there's 40 enemies and really just not looking good for Disturby. Is that a... Okay, there's a a Primordial Cube drone for Corny. Opted to go for that. It's a debatable thing. The good thing about having that, right, is you essentially have a constant source of what used to be your Tangling Growth. It's Tangling Growth in an equipment form. It doesn't deal any damage to you. You get it every once in a while, every so often. A very convenient thing to have. But personally, I would have opted to rather hold on to it and not put it into a drone unless I saw another equipment. Because these drones, right, we're going to be seeing Scorched Acres. If there's a Grove Tender, that drone's probably going to die. Disturbing now at 4, soon to be 5, maybe even 6 deaths. Just not knowing what to do, so much there. Unable to really dodge much. It's kind of given up here in loadout 1. Now it's 6 deaths. And while that's going on, Zinc over in the bottom right uses the... Oh my god. Zinc dies. Trying to shift the Dune Strider off a cliff, trying to use the Praeon, or not Praeon, I keep calling it the Praeon. The Primordial Cube on the Dune Strider does push it down a level, which is nice. But in the process... it wasn't able to track and keep an eye on that Templar and those orbs, and just gets blasted, and now has a 10-minute penalty when compared to Corny. Goji has a feather? Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah, they do. Goji's got the feather, but you know what Goji doesn't have? Is an Ice Band. Which is kind of terrifying. Right, at least even Disturby has that. Though Disturby also has 10 deaths. We'll really need to look towards Loadout 2. Or not Loadout 2, but maybe some of the later stages, maybe if they take it slow, if she finds something good, we'll be able to really just come back a little bit. It could happen, right? Though as these racers, as the top competitions slowly find more and more game-changing items, right, along at their pace, right? Even Zinc has the Ice Band, has a ukulele, has a Goat Hoof crit, some good items. And if they keep building these items up, Goji with the Feather, ukulele, the penny farming. Blazing Lemurian is actually one of the best things you could have right now. If I'm Goji, don't kill it. Get shot like 1 or 2 more times, just apply the Neurotoxin debuff. Which the Neurotoxin debuff, when applied on an enemy, I believe they do 30% less damage, which could be huge. And there's the other equipment, a Blast Shower. A Blast Shower that Corny picks up but ends up dying during the TP fight. The same damn Dunestrider with the same damn Templar. Just the lethal setup that everyone who's activated the TP so far on stage 2 has died to. And now Corny with a Predatory Instinct, with the crit in hand. Just feeling kind of foolish. If only that didn't happen, right? Corny would still be, if this one mistake didn't happen, Corny would be 10 minutes ahead of Zinc, 5 minutes ahead of Goji, who might also be 10 minutes. Yep, there it is, another death. As this Templar, as 3 of the top 8 racers just are getting destroyed by this loadout. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with just the amount of pressure, right? You don't want to lose this loadout race, so you have to be fast and you have to try and play quick. This is not a loadout that many people are familiar with. This is a challenge loadout that you see be done in like challenge videos on YouTube or a challenge run on Twitch if someone's feeling kind of bored. This is a loadout that sometimes these racers have actually had vetoed when their loadouts are being rolled. So this is just not what they want to be dealing with, as Goji loses a freshly acquired watch. And Zinc says, I literally hate this character. With the 2 deaths. Goji going for the Newt play. With 2+5s. I like that. I like that Newt. You don't know what you're gonna find in those soups. You don't know what you're gonna find on stage 3. On stage 4, there's a Milky Chrysalis, which might be okay. I don't know if it's actually gonna be good or not. Could be bait. There's a Volcanic Egg as well. 2 different pillar skip options to go with. I don't know what the other option is. The Primordial Cube is good for bunching up enemies, though, and just getting up so much more damage. I believe the other option is a Gorag's Opus. Where's that Gubo? Not sure. Not sure what green would be worth from Bazaar. Wow. Goji is really just getting launched by Clay Templars. We could start a whole space program with these things, with how much they launch Rex in the air whenever Rex uses uses the shift. This Goji's just using the cover an Apothecary spawns in at the worst possible time. It looks like he's gonna be okay. Disturby takes her first death on stage 2, even with playing slow. Jumps in front of the Templar again. Has the equipment, Primordial Cube drone, which can be good. Hopefully, Disturby does find the Blast Shower as well. Again, still needs a little bit of help from Corny or one of the other racers here to pull ahead. Goji actually the only one not to die so far on the TP event. We'll see if that goes all the way through. Right, just takes a few pests for something to happen. Okay, there's a guillotine pulled for Corny, now at 2. sees the Tri-Chop as well. As currently the Gorag's Opus ping, probably because he wasn't quite sure what that one was. Okay. Primordial cube drones are nice because they activate a lot, but you have to play so much around them. If you saw on Disturby's screen, the enemies like lifted and then went back down. Stuff like that's not good. Because it makes it really unpredictable where enemies are going to be standing. Like what if a cube drone just activates right now and then pushes the... Oh god, don't be jumping there, Disturby. Oh, be careful. Don't want to lose that watch. Don't want to die again. It's got to be your last life to live. Treat it like it's your last. Treat it like you're one death from DNFing. And, well, okay. That cliff has claimed 2 people now. Zink found a watch printer? And found an ATG. What was the soup for Goji? I wasn't paying attention. Double Pog Shrine gave energy drink and bison steak, by the way. We know that Zink has the modified text file to have it say Shrine is Pog when a Shrine of Chance gives an item. And says skill issue, I think, when it does not. IDP and Razor Wire. Okay. No way. Oh my god. Disturby taking another hosting +5 shifted into the equipment drone, and the equipment drone just said, nope. You will not move. You will actually stop and stall midair, and you will die. And as if 13 deaths wasn't enough, now at 14, the equipment drone about to die. Corny dealing with the Clay Dune Strider still has his equipment drone. Looks like Razor... okay, Razor Wire, Red Whip, one of the round items. The round greens. Was it a Rose Buckler, perhaps? No, definitely something hollow. Safer Space is picked up for Zink. And while Corny doesn't have the double death yet, I want to put advantage on Zink. Yeah, Corny might actually even die here. Who knows? He's okay. Because Zink is ahead, Zink knows that there's safer spaces. We don't know what Corny's thinking right now. Corny might be thinking, well, first off, probably wants a new equipment. But it's going to loot around, might do some scrapping. It has the wings, looking around. There's the scrapper. Yep. Uh-huh. Though it is good to have 3 white scrap. And I believe someone mentioned earlier that there was a watch printer on stage 3. Perhaps a watch advantage. Very nice. Everyone should find the spaces. Okay, so the spaces was like, I'm assuming right next to spawn there then. Disturby finds a goat hoof, a little bit of mobility, really nice. Gets a backup mag, has $500 here to spend. There's a lysate cell. Well, the lysate cell would be really nice if the Rex rule was allowed, and if you were using the the other shift. Or not shift, the other R ability. Entangling growth. So that is going to be not of any value, not of any use. Opal found on Zink, though. Feather found on Zink. The feather advantage that Goji used to have is now nullified. Goji is actually really low on health, dealing with some golems, dealing with Templars, not golems. Golems don't spawn on Scorched Acre. Yo, welcome in, Strafe. Hope you're doing well. Corny taking a quick break. Taking a breather. And makes it next stage. Oh, look out if you're Zink. I did just say that Zink has a good advantage, but taking a lot of hits. Again, has a ukulele still? But doesn't have the watches. I'm going to retract what I said about Zink for now. Because, I mean, one, he might die. But unless, right, the chance that Corny or Goji, if they don't break their watches. I guess specifically with Corny, the one that did find the scrapper. I don't know if the others found said scrapper. Disturby opting to take the blue portal. That is, again, smart. I like the idea. 14 plus 5s. You want something good to happen, something that maybe propel you ahead of the others so you can finish first in real time. But yeah, you gotta hold on to those watches. The good thing about having 7 of them, right, they are easy to break. You do have safer spaces, though. Right, none of the racers really knew that walking in. That's a good reason, probably the main reason, why Zinc opted not to print them. That's why Goji opted not to print them. Didn't know about the spaces, but the spaces are in, and Corny's gamble of printing 7 pays off. Corny with the 1 plus 5, who I would say is maybe one of the lesser of the 3 risk of resources racers, maybe who might feel the least confident. Again, a racer of the past who fought hard and did a lot back in the day. Having a new wave of competition, a new wave of younger talent that's just been popping up left and right. And maybe was thinking, okay, well, I gotta find something to beat these guys. Right? Often struggles against them, but just by going back to the roots of what Corny used to do, right? Of playing old school. Go in for those big damage items. Get some loot. Play it safe. Right, only at 1 plus 5 while the others are at 2, maybe even 3 at some point. Looks like Zinc was able to hold on at 292 curse. I think we saw the curse record is... That was set by Liam at 405 curse? A really high number. A bunch of mending larvae spawning in. The good thing about mending larvae is that they kill themselves. So you don't gotta deal with the healing for too long, as opposed to like a mending beetle that spawns on a bridge out of your reach. Serby now up to 16 plus 5s, 16 deaths. Right, every death adding 5 minutes to the timer up at the top right of each player's screen. And just... You know, you almost got to think back to the situation with Killer Bunny, and I believe Ken's, who 2 racers who just rushed ahead to try and finish before anyone else could. Right, had way more than 40 minutes longer of a time than first place, but just finished up before the concede could happen. So we might be seeing some deaths. And what happened to Corny? What? Okay. Corny, who gets a shuriken, who's feeling so good. I think we have to go back in time. I don't pause much. I thought it through. I don't think it's a good idea to pause that much with these live streams because of how bitrate it is. But this is a turning point in the race. Again, as I said earlier, Zinc is not in an advantage point if Corny does not break the watches. If Corny can hold on to those watches, Corny is the favorite to win. But watch what happens here. As Corny is low on health, down to about 130, gets the shuriken, there's some golems, there's some larvae. Larvae are jumping, and a golem just barely clips Corny's foot. Unfortunate. And that is minus how much death? Or not death, minus how much damage? Well, let's see. That's going to be going from... Let's see, 7 watches. You are doing 5/12 of your original damage. You're doing way far less than half. Things are taking twice as long to kill now. And you are in a bad spot, but not as bad of a spot as Goji is, maybe. Goji, who's still... Oh, okay, well, a 3rd plus 5 is really going to put you back. Goji's still with all original watches, dealing with the horde of golems that spawned in originally, dealing with those mending larvae. Okay, loses the watches, just suspended airborne, as wings are just popping up left and right, as we see on Disturby, just dealing with the Clay Templar that's killed many. Takes another couple victims. Zink was doing a good job keeping the enemies grouped up. That is something I'm noticing. Yeah, just the more enemies you can have clumped up, the more you can spam your M2 on. And uh-oh. That's a minus watch. Zinc already at 2 deaths, not wanting to die a third time. Does have Stealth Kit activate, which might have perhaps saved his life. Disturby hits the newt portal, the blue portal. Enough is enough with this stage. I'm out, she says. And Zinc does not die, does lose a watch at 2 deaths. Goji also at 2 deaths, but at 278 curse and counting. We'll see if Goji can pull it off. Still will need to do another 74% TP charge. But does have the safer spaces. Oh, suspended, stuck in air, wing prison, that's a death. Wing prison kicks in at the last second, and there's nothing that Goji can do. They're dead. And another glacial hits them. Thankfully, a stealth kit comes in. It's really hard to see when the stealth kit procs on these very fluorescent survivors. Disturby took a look at the 2 soups, didn't see anything that was very interesting. Will now finally make it to stage 3 at 23 plus 5s. There's a cleansing pool. Interesting. But again, still 2 stages behind Zinc. We'll need to finish first in real time. It's going to need some sort of miracle for that to be pulled off. And Corny gets an opal, has double bubble, the second of the 2 bubbles. Yeah, Horde of Many. Gotta love those. Is going to opt to fly over this cliffside. I don't believe they will path to that. If you're trying to get them to jump off, you will need to try from a different position. But at the very least, right, walks back over. Is definitely dealing with the Horde of Many. Gets hit by a rock, uses the shift, and Corny narrowly escapes death. Maybe still had the feather at the ready. But it's really close, playing with fire with that rock bridge. Maybe trying to get a couple of them to jump off. Still has the equipment drone. The equipment drone pulls away a few enemies out of the fray. The Serbi's still just tanking deaths. Pretty tilted at the run as a whole. Right, wasn't very satisfied, wasn't very happy with the stage 1 outcome. And Goji standing at 3 deaths and 103 curse, was able to finish TP, has a shuriken now, does not have the ice band still. Finds a second ATG, the same ATG that both, oh no! 20 didn't find ATG until stage 5. So apparently there's a third one then. Zink's done with the TP. Even at 2 deaths. Is looking pretty good. Corny finally finishes off TP, or the boss is the Horde of Gump. Right? It's a Kajaro's band. Nobody has watches, I believe. Yeah, they're all broken. We can count up the total number of broken watches among all 4 racers, and that is 7 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. It's 5, 7, 14 broken watches here in this loadout race. Between Disturby, between Corny, between Goji, between Zinc. Zinc is on the moon with 2 deaths. And what used to be someone who was looking at a massive disadvantage now is in the lead for is in the lead for least deaths. In-game time currently at 37 minutes and 30 seconds. Next closest is closing in on 43. And okay, Goji ended up missing the Lysate Cell Void Cradle. Might be thinking that might be something like a Polyloot might try to play differently because of that. But again, thankfully, at the very least, it wasn't a good item. Right, they will be fine, at least with regards to that. There's a wax quail in the soup. It's been pinged on Zinc's screen. There's a shipping request form that has Chronobobble and a question mark. Corny having completed the TP gets a fire band. Same fire band that Zinc picked up earlier. Upton kicks in. At least get Chrono. I mean, Zinc already has one Chrono. Has Neurotoxin. Neurotoxin has a lot of good debuffs that it applies to enemies. Not only does Neurotoxin reduce the amount of damage that enemies deal, Neurotoxin also slows down enemies, I believe, by 30%. And also reduces reduces their armor, right? It was about like 30 by 40. All I know is I think it, on average, makes you do about a sixth more damage. Yeah, double speed slow. Right, with Chrono and Neurotoxin. Watch how slow Mithrix is going to walk. Oh, that is so smart. Zinc and Corny. No way. I wanted to talk about how Zinc is being so smart with Deathmark. Applying the fruits from the Directive Harvest to apply Deathmark to deal 50% more damage to Mithrix. But Cornifer is at 5 deaths now? Took a hit from what appeared to maybe have been a void-touched Geep, which just caused the death to kick in. Now at 5 deaths. Now at 55 minutes on the clock. And if Zinc can finish this fight, which is going to be really quick, with that Deathmark pickup that no one else has. Wow. That Deathmark is huge. Keep in mind that Rex already has 2 natural debuffs. With a Chronobobble. With Needle Tick? Chronobobble and Needle Tick are the other 2. It's enough to set it over the edge. Also, the Ice Band. Right, Zinc having access to 5 total debuffs, able to make huge value out of the Deathmark, right? A 50% multiplier. Dealing 1.5 times damage. Right, having like 2.5 watches worth. Huge value. And the Serbi just wanting this to end. We'll keep track of how many deaths, right? She is trying to play it as fast as she can, to an extent, also wanting to get some items as to not death loop. Problem is, when you've died 28 times, dying the 29th time, you don't really think much about it. Probably is really tilted, not even running that much, just wants everything to be done in a lot of ways. Finds an ATG. The ATG that we've seen some of the other racers pick up a long time ago. Right. And here's some good news for Disturby. This is a loadout race. Right, out of all the races, right, this is probably her toughest schedule out of the way. So from here on out, things are going to be a lot easier. You can play a lot safer, a lot slower, not having to fear of getting 4th or DNFing as much. Having some Goji +5. But that should be a lot easier down the road for Disturby. Also, not the easiest loadout, right? When you're doing your Eclipse climb and you're still trying to get the fundamentals down for some of the survivors, and then next thing you know, you're getting thrusted into a borderline Shrek situation. Not ideal. Not ideal for one of your first rodeos. Zinc still just only at 2 +5s. Cornifer really going to need some help. If Zinc can die, right, there might be a chance, if Zinc dies, that Cornifer can deny a bonus point. Goji might be able to deny points if they can finish. If there's a Zinc +5, these pizza slices, Zinc is like running into a borderline. Activates wings, dealing with these golems, just so much going on screen. Here in Phase 3, right? Again, we have to see Zinc die for there to be any chance for these other racers to be able to get in first, to be able to deny some points. Yeah, that's right. Right. I mean, there is a phrase commonly known in the racing community and the Gauntlet community known as zinking, which is the act of dying to the last couple slices of pizza, the last iteration of pizza, just dying. Right, crumbling under the pressure. We've seen it happen countless times. Though to be fair, I feel like so many other people do it as well, and then they die to the last couple slices of pizza, and they're like, oh no, I zinked it. When, I mean, I'm not a statistician. I don't have all the numbers and stuff, but I mean, maybe there's some people that happens more to. I don't know. We correlate it with zinc the most. And if it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen now. Oh, that was almost it. But with safer spaces, yeah, that's the last iteration of pizza that we'll be seeing. I'm not sure if Zinc is going to try and reduce Mithrix's health to about 1,000. Right, it's done dealing damage to Mithrix, just is going to try and play it for a phase 4 skip. We'll see if it happens. Does not go for fruit yet first, but does get the death mark. And the last couple ticks of Mithrix. Boom. Yeah, phase 4 skip. There we go. There is one downside to phase 4 skipping now. And I'll explain it here in a second. As Corny is on phase 2 with 5 deaths. Goji finally done with the TP at 4. Here's the problem, is Zinc has 161 curse, does have double bubble, but cannot use the invincibility exploit. So while Zinc did not Zinc it, there's another phrase from another racer from another era, otherwise known as Dirt Grub, the process of grubbing to die during the escape sequence, when all is on the line, when all is looking certain for maximum victory. Something bad happens, and I'm saying that there's a chance. I'm not saying it's very likely. Zinc's a very good racer, but we've seen some incidents in the past that lead me to believe that something could happen. Goji's at like 20 health right now. Oh, opened up a Void Seed, or a Void Cradle. Got another Singularity Band, I think. Has he got another one to deal with? We'll see what this one is. Hopefully it's something good. Right, if Goji wants any chance at getting in 3rd place, they will need, like, a Polylead right now. Nope, just Tentabobble. Picks up Tentabobble. I disagree with that pickup, personally. A 0.6 proc coefficient and already having a Chrono. I don't know if it's just the 4+5s and tilt kicking in, but Mithrix moves really slow if you have Chrono Bubble on Rex. And double Tenta is not going to proc much. Rostrelix in there, though. That's good. Yeah, GG's to Zinc. Final time is like 46 something? Maybe 45 something? Yeah, 45.55. Double bonus points will be given to Zinc. We'll go ahead and add those now, because it is confirmed as Corny dies yet again. Oh, hello. Hey, there's another race going on right now. Crazy. Almost like we just watched that one. What's going on? See the risk of resources discorded? Oh, you guys can't see those. Zig set. Accidentally exited full screen on this. Ooh. But while we wait for that to go away, GG's to Disturby again. Just had to try to go full out as quickly as possible. Right, was up against some of the fiercest of competition. And hopefully future weeks, I mean, we still got another loadout for Disturby, but at least Disturby will be getting a participation point for showing up, which will help. Yeah, full looting on Rex in a loadout like this, if you're not familiar with a loadout, if you're not familiar with a setup, My advice to any racers or people aspiring to race, just full loot. You can figure it out down the line later on when you start pressing on. And then maybe during your time practicing or like trying to figure stuff out, trying to lab out runs, maybe then you could try to just speedrun stuff and see what works, see what doesn't work. But whatever you do, you want it to be consistent, right? The less runs you have with 50 plus 5s and you just conceding offline after the third or fourth death, right? Those are runs that you gotta ask yourself, what can I do differently? Yeah, we can actually go ahead and pull Zinc out of there. And it will have time to complete is 95.50, or my bad, 85.55. Can't do math. Corny here on phase 3 of Mithrix is 10 minutes behind Goji in real time. Right, wants to be able to hold on to his position up in the top 8. This is a bad time to be, you know, having 5-6 deaths now. Can still have a chance at beating Goji, just can't die again. Has to play these pizzas smart for Corny. Oh, Disturby also, you can see. Let me go ahead and fix that screen. There we go. But Corny almost done with the fight. Oh, man. Don't want to accidentally give the wings to that, what used to be an egg drone. Here we go. I'm assuming this is the second to last pizza. That death marks, again, just sped up the Mithrix fight for Zinc. I'll say it again. I feel like that death mark, you can look at the loadouts here between the racers. That death mark is the one thing that neither other individual has. A 50% damage bonus with all those debuffs that are constantly being applied is just huge. Straight up. Deathmark is one of the worst green items in the world until Corny takes a final +5. There it is again. We call it zinking so much. And poor Corny puts in a disappointed face into the chat. But we still call it zinking. Just like with all the fall damage that we see, it's still hosting. I've kind of come to accept it at this point. It is what it is. But there it is. Someone's got to be the first one to do it. Apparently I was the first one to die of fall damage. But Corny with another death. Now at 7. Right, Corny, an individual who had a chance to be able to pull in front of Zinc, to be able to take first place, having printed the 7 watches, taking the extra time. It would have been a tough challenge, but had he been able to hold on to those, could have easily died a lot less, right, with Mithrix being well over half as long of a battle, only half as many pizza slices to endure. Every enemy that could potentially kill you, if you have 7 watches, are going to die so much faster, 140% faster. And thankfully has the invincibility exploit active, will not be able to grub. Right, we did see a Zinc happen, but not a grub. Sag, good run with watches. Yes, absolutely. Right there in chat, lost with none. Yep. Everyone lost the watches, to be fair. It's such a gamble when you go all in on something like that. I would definitely say it's a lot less of a throw and a lot more of a situation where it's a really tough ask. It's a really tough challenge. At least you finish, though, right? It's going to be at least 1 point for Corny, potentially 2. Will depend on how Goji can handle Phase 2, can handle Phase 3. We'll need to die a couple times. I think 2 deaths and Corny will get second. So we'll go ahead and put up a time here for second place here as we pull up the screen for Goji. Time to second place is, let us see. Now we're going through cutscene. That's fine. Goji using the ramp again. Phase 2. You want to be up on this ramp. Those orbs will just like target your drones. They just won't go after you. I don't know why. Something about this ramp. It's just so powerful with Phase 2. Such a good vantage point. And I almost want... My theory to why people don't do it much is because a lot of times people think of ramp cheesing and it's like, oh, it's frowned upon. You don't want to touch the ramp when you're fighting Mithrix. But people don't really frown upon Phase 2 ramping. I advise go all in. If people aren't going to care, it's time. It's ramp time. Oh, man. All right. 76:46 is the time to beat for second place. Any ramp or this specific one? I'm not sure. You probably want one that has more pillars around it than one that doesn't have many at all. So the one that's here, right, you see a bit of cover immediately to the left of the pillar, or of the ramp. Meanwhile, the one far in the distance doesn't really have much of anything. Where's the gamble money? Oh, my bad. Let me get that in there. 71% of the gamble went on Zinc for this loadout. Get that out. There we go. Phase 3 begins. There's the Void Band. Another reason why I kind of felt Tenta Bubble was weird, it's like you also have the Void Band present, which is at least a stagger that's happening once every 20 seconds. Oh, Goji really in trouble. Not really using the M2 much to try and speed up the fight. It's just using the M1, but runs along parallel with the pizza and takes a +5. And now suddenly, things are looking a little bit different. At 6 minutes and 46 seconds to be able to finish, probably only has about, I would say, 5.5 minutes, 5 minutes to finish this fight. And Mithrix still has a bit of health. If there's one death, right, maybe 5 minutes is definitely doable, but at one death and it's over for Goji. Third place guaranteed at one death. Hopefully they can pull through though. We'll see. It's definitely very manageable, but not very manageable when you're at 200 health and falling at an awkward angle activates the wings and a golem shoots mid-air from the awkwardness of the what are those things? Well, the Milky Chrysalis, how awkward they are to handle when you're mid-air. Goji felt pressured by Mithrix, by the enemies, felt like they needed a little bit more mobility in mid-air. And now, 76:46 is not going to be possible for Goji. Cornifer is guaranteed to get second place. Well done, Corny, and very unfortunate again for Goji, but it's not too late for Goji to be able to place this loadout. 85:55 is the time to complete the run, or at least kill Mithrix, which looks very doable. Just can't have like a double +5 happen here. Does not have Fireband, so we'll have to be careful during Phase 4. Wings, oh jeez. Wings are so awkward, they're so annoying, they're so obnoxious. You press spacebar and you jolt ahead and kind of have a little bit of a momentum lock of sorts. Goji getting ready for pizza. Mithrix does the dash into pizza. Right on top of them, but it's going to be okay. Only 7,000, 6,000, 5,000, 4,000 damage. Almost dead. And Mithrix is going to die, but it's not over yet. where Goji at least needs to kill Mithrix before the mark happens. We'll see what happens. We've seen many Void Band deaths happen in the past. There is, I believe, Shuriken on Mithrix. Yes. So hopefully there's no shurikens, there's no, yeah, double slam, that's good. Backup mag is huge value for phase 4 Mithrix if you can't get a phase 4 skip. Right, we'll use that slam ability twice before shooting anything at you. And it looks like Goji's going to be safe, is going to be able to finish this loadout. Well done, Goji. You played it well. Actually had one less death than Corny. Just had a little bit slower of a run, but unfortunate. That was probably one of the more tougher loadouts. I wouldn't say the toughest, though. There was definitely damage. It's just hard to be able to put out the damage that you get, right, with Rex, with Bramble Volley. Right, you might have safer spaces, you might have Opal. But when you have to use a shift that deals damage to yourself when you're running around, not the best of things to be having. And that safer spaces probably didn't do a whole lot as opposed to what we usually think of. There is good things about the safer spaces, though. You do get one free M2, you get one free shift every time it comes up without taking self-damage. But I mean, that's more of a full looter's mentality sort of mindset. If you're trying to go fast, spaces, yeah. It's got its uptime, but it just really comes back down to earth in terms of value. Had a feather, had mobility, right? Just a matter of trying to play it out fast. And Goji's going to be able to finish up and come in with a time of, let us see, definitely faster than 85.55. So we get to see Mithrix's head. There it is. There's some wheat growing up, or moon wheat, whatever they got. I'm not sure what they grow up there on the moon. Okay. We're gonna see the whole, can I? Okay. I better not have to see the whole credit sequence. Okay, there we go. 78.56. Well done. Just 2 minutes slower than Corny, actually. Which was very close. GG's. Let me hand out those points. Let's see. Standings. Corny coming in with 2 points. There we go. And Goji coming in with the point. GG. All right. Here we go. We got loadout number 2 up and going here. Mercenary, yet again, has been having so many appearances as of late. And the ongoing thing, the ongoing pain that I've been dealing with has been Blinding Assault. I have seen so many deaths. It's so hard to land Mercenary slams on Vagrants, on control units. Thankfully, we won't be seeing too much of them. Not a Siren's Call loadout this time around. But just, it's so slow. And if you miss, then you're down without a shift for 8 seconds. There's also Slicing Winds with this ability, which I feel like the two of them, right, as if I didn't have enough to complain about with Blinding Assault. Slicing Winds just isn't all that collaborative. And, oh god, Disturby, it's going to have to find a way to land some Slicing Wind shots. Misses the Wisps, passes the Wisps. Again, every enemy in Eclipse 4 moves 40% faster. That was a nice shot for Disturby there. But with 40% faster moving enemies, they change their position a lot, 40% faster, right? Blind Pests, Wisps. You can play on Monsoon on a low Eclipse difficulty, and it's so easy to aim at them. And you kind of forget, I mean, me having been done with my Eclipse climb for 2.5, almost closing in on 3 years. Since I finished my climb, I've kind of forgotten in a lot of ways how easy it was back in the day to aim at these enemies. But you really just gotta try and just gain a 7th sense. Right? We're going beyond the 6th. You gotta go up to 7. And you gotta predict where the hell is that wisp gonna go? Where is that pest gonna go? I gotta land my shots. One good thing, at least, with Blinding Assault is that you can target multiple flying enemies. Oh yeah, that's a good point. There's no Prion in this loadout. There's no bans in this loadout. Two things that Mercenary... I mean, Mercenary can play fast. You can get from TP to TP fast. You can get to loot fast. There's a DML up top left for Corny, who is currently in 2nd place. Right? If there's going to be anyone that's going to be able to challenge Zinc in this loadout race, it's going to be Corny. Right? Only needs to get 3 points more, and there goes the first death for poor Disturby. Said in chat earlier that slicing wins is not her preference. And we'll see a lot of the reason why here in a bit, right? Less mobility, having to aim, not exactly the most used to it. Oh, there we go. That was a Blinding Assault moment. Almost dies to the Golem, standing in the clap zone. It doesn't even have slicing wins unlocked yet, right? Gotta do the ethereal challenge. Very much still new to racing, new to Risk of Rain. Has lots to learn, and it's learning a lot, right? I feel like I'm seeing a lot better of certain aspects from this week as opposed to week 1 for Disturby. We see Zinc already halfway done with the TP boss. The other racers are feeling a little bit nervous, right? Every racer had at least 5 or 6 deaths. I believe Goji had 6, Corny had 7. And Zinc had... was it 4? No, it was 2. Only 2 deaths. Right. Just played it out really well. The others are going to feel a lot less confident. Disturby is going to change some settings. Not really feeling the best here. Trying to figure out what's going on. I keep missing. Maybe this feels a little bit better. Oh, man, pests have, like, camouflage. You can hardly see them in the cave here. Oh, my God. Really just not the best situation. And we've seen Stage 1 Slicing Wind Mercenary in a loadout race in the past. Oh, there's Shuriken top left. Cornifer just gets that. That's going to be an easy TP start. There's also going to be Bernald's band that will pop in. I believe that was an attempt at a boss skip for Corny, trying to use the DML to skip the boss's health bar from showing up and just getting the item immediately. And poor Disturby already had 5 deaths. It's really not having a good day here. Zinc done with Stage 1 TP. Corny with the Shuriken. Quickly getting through the Stage 1 TP. There's the Stone Titan dead. There's the Ice Band. There's Zinc printing armor repulsion. Oh my God, can I speak? Repulsion armor plates. Something you definitely want to have. On Mercenary, I've said it many times. Mercenary is someone who really struggles at just getting hit by things like wisps and other small shots. As Disturby racks up the 7th death there. Already 40 minutes in game time. And is essentially out of contention for this loadout. But we'll still at least get to be able to have the experience and the practice moving forward. Our other racers, meanwhile, we see Ronald's band in for everyone, right? That's the TP boss item. Oh, there's actually a Sama rank from Stage 1. I wonder if Goji will, or Corny will find that, because that's actually really huge. DML is a niche equipment, in my opinion. Right, you really only get about as much damage as opening up one barrel with fireworks in terms of DPS. Right, it does have a better proc coefficient than Fireworks, but it's not really that much. You can make it nice, though, if you do get a Pocket ICBM. If you do get a lot of proc chain items, you can get some value from it. But yeah, Somerang's just going to do so much more. No voids in the seed. Oh, yeah, look at that. We have a double void. What are they called? Void potentials? Yeah. A double potential. And Zink's going to go ahead and get Cautious Slug. Right, has healing, has a repulsion armor plate, has a DML. Probably feeling okay at the very least right now. Not too shabby. Finds a watch, is on stage 2. Corny. Oh, there we go. Yeah, from the cave is the Samarang. That's going to be really good for Goji. I almost want to say Goji... I think that's the Shuriken. For Goji. No, it's... Yeah, there it is. I like Goji's items the most right now. Has a Gasoline, can deal with AoE a lot better. Has the Samarang. Takes for maybe about a tenth of a second to pick up the DML, and they're like, nope, not going to do that. Corny only just activating TP. Does have the Samarang as well now, though. Right, Corny with 7+5s on loadout 1. Really thinking if with another tough loadout as this, right, no guaranteed Prayon, no guaranteed bans, just want to take it slow, take it steady. Oh no, Corny's on stage 2. What am I thinking? Can I just, like, erase my commentary for 4 minutes? I don't think I can. Yeah, dude, can I ask what the numbers between the players mean? I haven't watched a lot of races. So those are the current standings, like a seed. If you've ever watched, like, college basketball or something like that, or football, it's their current seed. There are 28 racers. The lower the number, the better the racer in terms of standings. Maybe not necessarily in terms of skill. It is only week 2. Some people have had bad loadouts, have had bad days. So we'll see that kind of even out more as people go up against different and more unique racers. Yeah, speaking of the numbers, again, poor Disturby, just probably the toughest schedule this week. We'll have it a little bit easier down the stretch. And is already at 10 deaths on stage 1. Goji died? Huh? Goji, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to take down the Zinc. What happened? Yeah, Goji 401, Goji not swag. If anyone has that actual emote, any Goji subs, feel free to put that in right now. What was the boss? It was Stone Titan. Oh, was it Needle Tick? Whatever it was. Just really not something you want to have happen to you. When you have an Opal, when you have the Gasoline and the Shuriken and the Ice Band, the Wax Quail, the Fuel Cell, the Samarang. A pretty good setup, a really good arrangement of items, and now with a 5-minute penalty just tacked on there at the end. Well, that opens up some things. For one, Corny, who is done with the Stage 2 TP, not too far behind Zinc in real time. Definitely... Huh? That's a first. Corny somehow glitched out of the map. I don't even know how that happened. Yeah, almost. It's a good thing it's with Mercenary, right? If that does happen. Merc is known to clip out of bounds a lot. Right, is able to dash a lot with the Viscerate, Slicing Winds. But that was with Whirlwind, wasn't it? I've never really seen much with Whirlwind happen. Ooh, that's a good Zinc slideshow, by the way. I like that. With this hosting league in full, like, you know, we're fully in it at this point. I've been thinking of emote ideas. What if I had some sort of slideshow that we could post in chat every time someone's stream goes full slideshow? Is there a second band? Oh, there is. And it's on Zinc. Straight out of stage 3 has a ice band present. Right there. Boom. Value. Goji getting a repulsion armor plate. I like that play. Okay. So, I'm looking at everyone's loadouts right now. Look at the difference between Corny and Zinc. In real time, right? You know, Zinc's only 6 minutes ahead. Right, started a little bit later. Oh, that's a good slideshow. Corny has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 items. Compare that to Zinc's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 19 items. Wow. And that's not even with pennies. No pennies on Zinc. Just was able... I don't know if there's like a blood shrine or something. Zinc is just rocking it. Rocking the items. There's a turf printer. Huh? Where? Who pinged it? Is it on Corny? I see he is definitely pinged something. And is just going to opt to... Yeah, that was on Corny. There was a charge perforator printer. Isn't going to look for any equipment or do anything, which is a common bait, right? You don't want to spend too much time looking for equipment, trying to get like a charge perforator or something, right? If you get a charge perforator, your run's probably going to move 30 or so % faster. It's a decent yellow item. It's not like the world changer. It's not like you have one charge perforator and suddenly you're doing 8 times more damage or something, right? It's no head stomper or spare drone part or anything of that sort. But it is a very good piece to proc chaining. If you have a decent proc chain and you find a perforator of any sort, it's incredible. It's giga value. It's also niche. It's not every day you get a charged perforator, right? Especially in loadout racing, you need to activate, I believe, 2 mountain shrines on stage 5 at like the 20-some minute mark. 3 mountain shrines and you're pretty much guaranteed to have a... I believe it's still only a 1 in 5 chance of getting Overloading Worm. Yeah, Goji is struggling. Just catching on fire. So many whiffs, so many enemies. Even with that repulsion armor plate, even with the gasoline, loses the watch. Oh man. Tough day indeed. With tough loadouts, tough competition. There is one thing we do know with Corny, and I've been saying if there's one thing we know a lot, my bad. But, or not Corny, with Goji, they definitely got some mental fortitude. We saw a loadout where they got in first place with 13 deaths. Because everyone else had less mental fortitude, was less smart with their looting. And that was even with mistakes, right? You know, it could have been far better had Goji not accidentally lost all speed and went all in on was it ATGs? With the soup on the moon? Right, they can pull ahead. They can stand firm and at least try to place well. Zinc starting stage 4. Zinc also someone that can play really well and just stands firm, takes a +5 and doesn't really think too much, doesn't really bat an eye. Get really afraid like some of the racers do. Knows what's the right strategy, finds safer spaces, pulls ahead, it rewards, and oh, Gup moment. Okay, doesn't fall through the map. Gup are really good at pushing Mercenary through the ground. It's awesome. I love Gup personally. I don't know about you guys. But when I'm Mercenary, I use my shift ability and I just slide inside a gup, go underneath, and just fall out the map. I'm always very thankful that Mercenary has like 10 different air stalls. I think often having to pause the game every time lag spikes kick in. Right, this is Zinc playing on like a potato PC. Could you imagine Zinc with a good PC setup? If Zinc was racing on an actual setup? If Zinc and I traded PCs and he raced for like 1 week. There is so much tilt. When you go down to 5 frames per second, sometimes you're trying to dodge larva landings and pizza slices and other stuff like that. Yeah. Get Zinc like a calculator or something. And he'll do better. You know, it's been a while since Disturby's last died, but I think we're about to see her first death in a while. Yeah, there it goes. But definitely is at least slowing down the amount of deaths. I believe it was 13 of them on stage 1. You're on stage 2 now, only with 3. Right, getting the hang of loadout a bit more, getting some items, helping out. The ice band's a huge help for sure. How's Corny doing? Corny, the other racer that, again, really is the only main competition. Not only competition, but Zinc's main concern. Right, if Corny ends up getting bonus points and Zinc ends up getting in 3rd place potentially, right? Goji needs to pull some weight, right? Perfect condition for Cornifer is Zinc gets in 3rd place, right? Somehow messes up, finds a tricorn though. Oh wow, okay. He's already activated TP and cleared it though. Do you really want to give up? Oh, I think Zinc just had the DML though. I think DML's worth giving up. It's barely any damage. And you could get to stage 5. Yeah, stage 2 late. Imagine having a gun on stage 3 would be huge. I'd be +1 charge perforator. Go to Bazaar to get drawn, man. That sounds so Zinc. What good green items are there? I mean, there's double ice band, double shuriken. You don't really have many drones to begin with. Jade Elephant equipment. Oh, Cornifer just bullrugged a Stone Titan for the Saber Spaces pickup. Also has Void Crit, which is interesting. Does anyone have any normal crit glass? The answer to that question is no. So far, the Void Crit's a good pickup. Maybe just thinking about Extreme Cope, maybe Corny saw the video of Karn and Goji in the past racing with this very same loadout. Doesn't want to have something weird like that happen. At least with the Void Crit, able to kill some enemies. I'm making up ideas. I'm making up excuses. I don't like the idea. Mercenary already struggles with damage. And just one crit printer on stage 5 and it's going to be a smack on a facepalm, as they say. Yikes. So Corny's biggest hope right now, right? The gamble is that it's stage 4. Stage 5, you hardly get any white items anyway. At least ones you can choose to pick. So it's not like there's going to be a crit printer. Right, let's see. We see Zinc found a penny printer. We see... Okay, just kind of running around. Not too much. One thing I noticed with these really bare bones backgrounds and stuff, when everything's one solid color... Oh, is that just a... No, it wasn't a boob. If everything's one solid color, it makes it a lot easier to find the chests. Suddenly all the printers and stuff look super clear. Zinc goes for 1 Mountain Shrine. I don't know if Zinc is thinking, ooh, I want a charge perforator. With hitting that, at the very least you can activate TP, get a boss, and kill said boss. At least reduce it in half with the gun. maybe get a chance of getting a green item. Would normally it would just be a... Oh, there's a recycler. There's a recycler, and Zinc has a gun on stage 5. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yep, that's an instant pickup. And I'm pretty certain, because Zinc, I'm sure Zinc knows. Zinc does a lot of modding with Risk of Rain 2. Knows that there's probably not enough director credits to even have a chance of getting an overloading worm. Activates TP. There's a Souls control unit. Oh, that's unfortunate, actually. It's going to have to deal with 3 others. And how much speed does Zinc have? 2 mochas, 1 energy drink, 1 hoof. That might... I think that's about as good as default focused assault. Maybe still a little bit worse. We'll see if Zinc could pull it off. Goes for a reroll. Doesn't want to stick with the empathy cores. Disturby taking a death on stage 3, by the way. Oh, hey, there is a crit item. Disturby the only one with crit glasses there. Very nice. Still struggling just a bit there at 17 deaths, so. Which is a lot better. I feel like, again, we're seeing live improvements happening with each death. Disturby is learning, okay, well, this is bad, so I'm going to try something else. And then every death again, this isn't good, this isn't good. A lot of times when we see people get in this situation where they just keep deathing, or death looping, they stop trying. But I like to see what I'm seeing here, right? Only 4 deaths since stage 1. Is playing a bit smarter, is learning slicing wins a bit more, right? It said in chat earlier that she doesn't even have slicing wins unlocked. Yeah, this is totally the most blinding assault moment of all time. If this was focus assault, all of these would be immediately booped out of existence. I hate blinding assault. I'm gonna say it. I despise this ability. Thankfully, Zinc with shurikens, 4 shurikens to be exact, and 2 ice bands, able to kill all but 1. Now has a Zai construct. I don't know if that Zai was hiding behind a hill or something. If there was going to be anything that could be in Corny's favor, right now, it doesn't have a gun. Corny's biggest thing would be to have Zinc die. Frame perfect. That was frame perfect. The second I said death, poor Zinc takes one. And that is what the start of what Corny needs to be able to come back. Is gonna need help from Goji potentially. Right, gonna need help from Goji if there's to be no tiebreaker round. Oh boy. And people tell me out in chat. I remember I was reading. I think it was, I'm not gonna say their name. But there is a situation where enemies can get out of the map and their boundaries aren't the same as your boundaries. They can stay and do whatever they want, and you can try to get to them. You can try to reach them, but you won't be able to reach them. Old War Stealth Kit and Ronald's Band for the rerolls on the equipments. So Old War Stealth Kit, Genesis Loot, and an Ice Band. Or was it a fire? Yeah, it was an Ice Band. That's what Zinc got from that. So pretty good value-ish. Corny just gets the Squid Polyp. Again, still has a Sombering. Easily able to handle things. You gotta look out, though, if you're Corny. Only 400 health. Your healing isn't the best. You've got safer spaces, but you just kind of lose them as Mercenary in this situation. You gotta be really careful. You can't die. If you die, you lose your lead. Zinc needs to die again, right? Or just somehow go super duper slow. Because both Corny and Zinc are going at very similar paces. Corny still needs to charge 80% of the TP. Corny opting to go for a cope strat. Right? Leading the enemies away. Don't want to have to just keep blinding assaulting through the TP. Do the runners have different seeds? No. They all have identical seeds. They have identical items. If they re-roll an item with a recycler, it's going to be the same item and order. By grade, I think rusted lockboxes are all the same. Right, we try here in Hosting League with the Risk of Resources Gauntlet Racing mod to try and make it as fair of an experience for all the racers here. Recycler seating in the public mod? Yes. Things that are not in the public mod include, I believe, benthic bloom seating is not synced up. And that's the only thing I can think of. Everything else is in there. Such a cool concept. I agree. I think I've seen, we've seen a lot of people, whether it be at events such as Games Done Quick, where we see multiple speedrunners trying to speedrun the same game and kind of race each other. To see that, but with a roguelike, I don't think we've really seen too much of a speedrunning, of a racing scene within roguelike games. I think here with the Gauntlet mod is one of the first few instances that we've seen something of the sort. And it's been pretty cool. I've really been enjoying it so much. I mean, well, I made my own league for it. And Corny takes a +5. 5 minutes added on upon dying. Just used the blinding assault, landed right in front of two brass contraptions, wasn't able to get out of the way of said brass contraptions, and ends up dying. So the whole lead that Corny had went away right there. But it's not too late, because now it's not so much a lead, but they're on a very similar pace. Corny can still end up in first place. We just don't want to die again. And this actually opens up a little bit of the door for Goji. They also have 1+5. Every racer at least has died once this race. Oh yeah, the Lunar Lockdown. I know there's going to be a public version of the private mod soon. I've been 3 weeks through with doing it this system, and I kind of feel like to put 28 racers through changing entire systems midway through would be tough. Goji, by the way, heads up, said so hungry in chat. I'm actually pretty hungry too. I'm thinking about dinner right now. I just went grocery shop. Oh god, Corny. Oh god, let me not talk about my food, because Wisps are blasting Corny, along with a couple, I believe, parent hits and what could have been a brass contraption spike ball. Gives Corny his second death and is now 10 or 5 minutes behind Zinc in real time. What used to be a 5-minute advantage is now a 5-minute disadvantage. Goji now looking a little bit better. Right, maybe it's not as much of a fight to try and land those bonus points, to try and take down Zinc at this point. But we can look at the smaller picture of getting in second place. And what do you need to do for that? Well, Goji needs to get... Goji needs to first get in second place. Right, and even if Corny places and gets in third, whoever has less overall deaths throughout the 2 runs is granted second. And if not from there, then it goes to the next tiebreaker, which I believe is average time per run. So there are things that can happen here. Zinc finding a shattering justice, by the way. Pretty huge. Right from the soup. There was a white soup. It's probably like medkit or something. Alright, and we're gonna finally get to see a pillar skip for Mercenary. Here we go. Uses the M2, has the double jump in hand, has the feather in hand, and is up. Nice. Good job, Zinc. It's going to be able to now start the fight. The Disturby, by the way, only just now got the 19th death. Right? Has only had 6 deaths since the 13 death stage 1. And things might spiral out of control right about now for her. But I still would like to point out, again, I like to see the effort, right? Even in a situation when things are down, right? Still just at least trying. Learning a bit more. Warming up to the loadout. Goji gets hit by a fire or a brass contraption ball. No stealth kit. And dies. Ouch. That hurts. Now down to 2 deaths alongside Corny. Corny done with the TP. Goji still has all of the TP to go through. If Corny gets in second place here, solidifies his position for second in the loadout race, which, you know, not a first place or anything of the sort. Goji gets another death here. Pauses the game, just wants to take a breather. Maybe wants to make a sandwich or something. And decides against it. It's going to keep playing through. Finish the run, then get the food. Corny's got 3 turret elders. Oh, man. Oh, Corny with a hardlight afterburner. Now, we've seen afterburner with blinding assault here in the past. We saw it with Ruddy just last race. And now? Well, you've got shurikens. You've got only 1 ice band, though. The difference between Zink's loadout and the other racers. Keep in mind, think back to stage 3, when Corny only still had about 7 items. Zink at the same time, in real time, had like 16 items. I don't know how Zink did it. The wizard that he is. Wow. Oh, the schedule on the website, that's for racers when they're competing in real time. I plan on changing the schedule to reflect when we will be casting the races. Now that things are a little bit more solidified, I'll actually do that tonight. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, we're... Unfortunately, it's an American League. I know. Ooh, Disturby, nice shift to evade the needle tick. Unfortunately, does take a death there right afterwards. But again, we're seeing good technique with Disturby, right? Using the iframes of the shift to avoid needle tick. You know, with Rex shifting right before landing, getting a lot of those early tech that you want to learn early on in your time playing Risk of Rain. Really liking what I'm seeing from our screen there. And yeah, we're usually live doing these races Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Anywhere from like 12 to 2 Eastern Daylight Time is when I start, and it usually goes on for about anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. Depends on the loadouts or on the races. Yeah, Zink. Oh my god, I looked away for a second. Zink's already done with phase 1. On phase 2. It's got to be those ice bands. That's huge. Starting phase 3 now. As Corny is now only just getting to the fight. Right, assuming that Zink does not die again, Corny is on a 5-minute time limit to try and deny Zink bonus points. Those raw points might come in handy down the line when it determines tiebreakers. And looking at their seeds, Corny with the 8th seed, Zink at the 5th seed. You need every advantage you can get. To deny some raw points might mean the difference of going up or down a position. Of getting it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Someone just said, find the spare drone parts. There was spare drone parts on stage 5. Imagine. And so many people accuse Zink of like foreknowledge of stuff. Right, Zink, one of the people that helped create this Gauntlet mod. There was no foreknowledge for Zink in finding the spare drone part large chest. Look at that. Ooh, nice little fall damage there with the rock for Goji. Oh, that was for Zink, my bad. Yeah, Goji's the one with the spare drone part. And, uh-oh. Is that? No, it's a credit card. The gun was from stage 4. So you're telling me there's another chance that a racer somewhere out there, if we had 28, 30 people do this, I'm sure somebody would have found it. The gun, held onto the gun, activated the TP, shot the empathy core, and found that spare drone part. That's going to be huge. That's going to speed up the fight so much for phase 2. A little bit for phase 3, but then it kind of slows down. Phase 1's going to be a lot faster. It's not a bit sporadic. Damn Blazing Elder. Where? Oh man, yeah. Poor Disturby, taking a lot of deaths. Right? I mean, just not the right amount of items, feeling a little bit uncomfortable. Still, I like to see, I'm still glad to see the credit or the effort put forth in making it to this far before the spiral kicked in. It's like almost another +5. Oh man, there's so much. Oh jeez. Zinc did die. Oh jeez, he did die. What was the death? When it happened here, I'm sorry. I'm pausing. Golem shot? Okay. I was about to go back and highlight. But with Zinc dying. And Corny. Oh man, are you telling me? Are you telling me there's a chance Zinc can't really pull off a phase 4 skip? Shuriken attempted the Shuriken skip. Does not get it. Will have to do phase 4. Mithrix with Shurikens, Mithrix with Ice Bands. Blazing Elder +5 from Disturby. Okay. Will Zinc be able to do enough damage before the Shurikens? The Shurikens fly out, but he just narrowly avoids that shot. It's going to be okay. Iceband kicks back in. Mithrix quickly slams with, I believe, is some form of attack speed item. Loses the Mochas. Okay, a little bit slower there. Needle Tick kicks in. Doesn't do that much damage on Mercenary. And I do believe Zinc is evading that with the shift. Safer Spaces kicks back in. No, not again. Not again. Not again. Okay, the Genesis Loop is taken away. We've already seen one Genesis Loop explosion. Zinc would have been fine with the Safer Spaces. Zinc says throwing in chat. And throwing indeed. While you are just about confirmed to get in first place. While you're looking pretty not so good with the double +5 in a run where you have 3 Ice Bands, where you have 3 Shurikens, where you have a Feather APR, there's a Focus Crystal in there, right? So much good. Despite the incident with the Souls control units. With the stage 5 TP. Yeah, there we go. That's the Safer Spaces bug. There's no way that Goji can die. And in a very close phase 4 that could have ended terribly, right? One Shuriken was an instant death for Zinc. Zinc is going to be able to finish in first place, and Corny still has... Let's see. I mean, all of phase 2, no spare drone parts. What equipment? What equipment did Goji give that equipment drone? What's Hydrate? I got you covered. Zinc's going to finish up, I believe, at a sub 50, just barely. As a 49.42. And the only racer with the Shattering Justice. 49.42 is the final time as Zinc finishes up in first place and secures his spot for this loadout race. GG Zinc, 49.42. We're going to go ahead and put up the time for Denial. And that's going to be at a 54.42. Which currently, Corny can technically do it. But Corny's going to have... Oh, let's see. Okay, the timeout's going to be called for poor Disturby here to have to concede. Had a few deaths. Oh, okay. Looks like that other race is still going on, by the way. Disturby is going to be given the news that someone has completed. She's going to be set free from hell. Unfortunate. Build up Surfer. Yeah, GG, Disturby. Again, up against some of the highest, most fierce competition. There we go. Better luck next week. Hopefully your loadouts are a little bit more sane. Time to dime bonus, though, for Corny. Corny will only have about, let's see, I mean, has to be done with the Mithrix fight. I'm assuming at around 5420? 54... Yeah, 5420. Or 5320. I could see maybe double bonus being denied. But even with the Saw Tech, right, you're going to have to do a perfect Saw Tech. Right, line Mithrix up in the position. I do know that Corny knows about the technique. Right, he's starting to get closer towards the pillar in which it will need to have to happen. But here's a problem. Saw Tech is cool and all. You need all of your drones to be dead. So it's going to take multiple, unless you get really lucky and Mithrix somehow stays aggroed on you. Those drones need to die. Right, Mithrix is dancing around. It's really weird. Why is Mithrix not even trying to hit me? Well, it's because there's drones. Oh, man. And I mean, Goji's catching up. 57-46. Oh, geez, Corny. You don't want to be able to not deny any points. You don't want the full Zinc sweep to happen. Moving ahead here. Out come the Saws, 75% health on Mithrix's health remaining. Alright, here comes the pizza. I'm not sure if Corny's going to attempt the Saw Tech. I think it's one of the few things, if he wants to place well and deny points, will have to perform. Oh, jeez. A lot of exploders just landing shots. All the drones are dead. This would be the time to do it. Oh, no, but a golem! The golems that they reposition their shot after the third blast. Corny gets hit by a stray. Sets off the saws for Saw Tech, but just accidentally butchers it, and another death kicks in. Now with 2 deaths, now behind Goji. Not only is Corny not going to be able to deny bonus points for Zinc, but Zinc is going to get double bonus, and now it's a matter of finishing. Right, the time to complete 89.42. Which these racers are far from that. Oh, man. It's not looking great here for Corny. There was just so many ads. And Corny, if there was any chance that he was going to be able to pull off the Saw Tech, it would have had to been last time. He's going to attempt it again, but there's just so many enemies. You better hope you're in a good spot. Assaults come back. Didn't set properly. Not even one. and Mithrix escapes. This technique really hard to pull off, really hard to get consistent. But we have seen it been used in the past. In week 1, we saw, I believe in the very first race, was it Faku or K? One of the two managed to pull it out and really just pull ahead of the other racer as a result of using it. We have seen it have good value. Corny's going to attempt it here again. Can't die, or I'm not sure if the saw's vanished or not. There it goes. It begins. 52, 51, 50, 49, 48. While this is going on, Goji at 60 minutes, 5 minutes ahead. There we go. I'm not sure if all the saws got in there, but Corny was able to get at least some damage and some numbers. You got to see some actual depletion of Mithrix's health bar as Mithrix just vaults out into the air, and Corny dies again. Corny only having, oh my god, another death. 2 more deaths for Corny, and it's going to be a DNF. And then if there's a DNF, it doesn't matter how many deaths there are overall. Goji will just need to complete, and will get in second place for this overall time for this race. But there's just so many enemies. Goji has it so easy right now. Maybe not the most amount of drones, but just being able to have spare drone parts, it helps a ton. Right? So many distractions, there's actual damage being dealt. Mithrix is dying. Oh, eats a pizza slice, but thankfully has it blocked from tougher times. Sawtech kicking back in. Sawtech is otherwise known as the +5 tech, because it is just so easy to die when attempting it. And on top of that, right as soon as the damage starts kicking up, Mithrix just kind of jumps up. So Corny's going to have to either try it one more time, or will just opt not to attempt again. Again, you cannot die too many more times, or it will be a DNF. Not something you want to happen. I think Goji's going to get in second place overall, no matter what at this point. Goji only with 6 deaths, Corny with 7 in the first loadout, right, with a 1 advantage. Goji's going to need to die like a lot for Corny to get in second this race. And there goes both Mithrixes. Corny's Mithrix. Oh, almost with the skip there, with the saw skip. A very hard one to pull off. Corny does have another saw, though, for after Mithrix takes all the items, we'll be able to kill him. And I highly doubt this is going to be a DNF for Corny. We'll be able to get that in. Lands the saws. Lands a shuriken. Yeah, there's next to no way that Corny can die. Even had a backup mag in there, so there's a double slam. Crowbar's gone. Life is good. Oh boy. Mithrix turns invisible for Corny from the stealth kit proc. There, it's back. And with the afterburner, coming a little bit clutch there. Throughout the fight, Corny is going to be able to finish in third. And he says, fun. Fun indeed. It is loads of fun. As, oh. One of the streams accidentally dropped for a second there. It's back. And out of all of the racers, right, between Goji, between Corny, between Zinc, Zinc made these competitors, these racers who commonly encounter each other on a week-to-week basis, and made them look like mortals, made them look completely beatable. Just from the difference in how they played throughout these loadouts. You know, had Goji not died a couple times, there may be a different story. But, you know, just made the right moves, even made mistakes. Right? Zinc said in chat, not my best run throwing. Things of that sort. Really disappointed, but despite that, going to get a perfect 10. Being 10 minutes ahead of everyone else. A perfect 10 points for this race. Goji going to be confirmed with the 2 points here. We'll add that in up to 3. And Corny finishing 10 minutes before the threshold. Going to be coming in third with 3 points as well. Again, tiebreaker between Corny and Goji for the leaderboard. You can take a look at the leaderboard over at HLROR.com. We first take into account DNFs. If anyone did not finish a loadout, had to concede, then the person who did not concede has the advantage over the other. From there, it goes to number of deaths. Goji in total had 9 deaths, while Corny, I believe, in total, the 2 loadouts had 7 plus... let's see here. 7 plus 6, so 13 deaths for Corny. Goji gets second. GG's. Well played.